the first tip that you look out for in people when they are going through, people who are going through stuff, is how they behave. When somebody has a drastic change in behavior, then that's when you notice that something is going wrong in their life. Okay, so usually the change in behavior is persistent and non-productive. So they are doing things like sleeping too much, being too quiet, being too isolated, or it could be even partying every night all of a sudden, and last time they didn't used to do that. It's a drastic change in behavior that is non-functioning and non-productive to their life. So like somebody who never used to play computer games suddenly gets hooked on Facebook. And then suddenly they're on Facebook all the time, and you're like, oh, I don't like you being on Facebook all the time, but everything else in their life is normal. They are able to go to work, they're able to look after their children, they're able to do their studies, they're able to do other things normally. It is just that they spend a lot more time on Facebook than they used to. When it becomes a problem is that now I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook when I'm supposed to be looking after my children. I'm on Facebook when I'm supposed to be studying, or when I'm supposed to be working, and it's now affecting my behavior. So their behavior change, the prolonged behavior change, must also have an effect on their normal functioning. The more adverse effect it has on their normal functioning, the smaller the amount of time before you seek professional help. To look out for an increased dependency on external things. Now the easy one, which everybody knows, is if somebody starts being more alcoholic, or they start smoking or chain smoking, some people start chain smoking without even depression, but they start doing things which they don't normally do. They start being more dependent on things they normally do. But when I say an increased dependency in terms of need, I'm not talking about the person needs to be alcoholic. What I mean is, in order for me to relax, I need to do this. Like, I need to have at least one glass of wine, if not, I cannot relax. I need to have one cigarette, if not, I cannot relax. That's dependency on an external thing. Then you have got a feeling of hopelessness. Another tip that you look out for is when people are saying, no matter what I do, nothing changes. I've tried so many things and it's always, I fail. Everything I do, I fail. So in every aspect of their life, they seem to have a sense of hopelessness. So when somebody is coming in very strongly, I have no hope, I can't do anything right, everything I do is wrong, you need to look out at what's going on. Another one would be an inability to cope with normal daily stresses. So normally, if you're in your office and somebody spills a glass of coffee on your table, we clean it up, we may say something sarcastic or something a bit nasty, then we clean it up and we're done. But then 2 months later, same glass of coffee spilled on your table, and it's a disaster. The extreme reaction to it. Oh my God, how can you do this? My computer, my this. You cannot control the reaction. That means that the normal functioning is overwhelmed. So if somebody has that inability to manage their emotions, and publicly they're exploding, publicly they're doing this, small things overwhelm their ability to cope, they need help. Here's some tips for the helpers. Now tip number one for people who want to help people is, number one, remember all you can give to somebody is information. I can give you the information, but I cannot force you to change. You have to want to change. The thing that where helpers get into trouble is they really want this person to change, and they're trying to force, and no matter what they do, the person doesn't want to change. So what happens? Then you got two people and not one people who need help. Not one person who needs help anymore, it's you and that person, now both of you need help.